Please take a moment and read over the problem given to you at the top of the screen. Once you've done so, I'm now going to walk you through all the steps involved with solving this. So first off, it says that we have a degree of 3 and it has roots of -3 and 2 plus I. So over here on the right side we have written down our roots. Our first root is -3, second root is 2 plus I, and we know if one is going to be 2 plus I, the other one, another root would have to be the conjugate, which is going to be 2 minus I. So we have 3 roots, which is what we would expect for a third degree polynomial. So what we can do is we can just remember these little facts here where your coefficient of the x squared term is going to be r1 plus r2 plus r3. So just take the 3 roots and add them together. When I do that, I'm going to get a 1. Okay. Next, for the x term, it's going to be r1 times r2 plus r2 times r3 plus r1 times r3. So be careful when you're multiplying. You're going to get this right here, -6 minus 3i minus 6 plus 3i plus 4 plus 1. And that's all being multiplied by x. And then for the constant, it's going to be the 3 roots multiplied together, r1 times r2 times r3. When I do that, I'm going to get a -15. Also, make sure you take note of the signs of each of the terms. For all of these, it's going to alternate between negative, and then positive, and then negative. If it's a 4th degree term, it's going to be negative, positive, negative, and then it's going to be positive for the last part. 5th degree term, same thing. It's going to start with negative. It's going to alternate for every term. So when I multiply and add everything together and simplify, find like terms, this next part right here, I'm going to get x to the third minus x squared minus 7x plus 15 equals 0. Okay, so my function is going to be that equation that I have, but then it could also be multiplied by any constant. We're going to call that the letter a, and a is not going to change any of our roots. So what I can do is use information given where it says f of -1, it says equals 40, so I'm going to set up my equation, and I'm going to plug in a -1 in for x with this equation that I have. So keep the a there, and then I have -1 to the third, and then -1 squared, and I have -7 times -1 here. And so when I simplify that, I'm going to get this next step, -1 minus 1 plus 7 plus 15, all multiplied by a. So I'm going to have a times 20 equals 40, so a would have to be 2. So what I can therefore conclude is that my function is going to be right here, 2 times everything. So if I look back at the original function that we had, we said a is 2, so I plug a 2 in, which means all this over here is going to be multiplied by 2. So it's going to be 2x to the third, which is what we see written over here. It's going to be -2x squared, which is written over here, and then -14x, and then plus 30. And that's all I really need. That's all they're asking for, is just to find f of x. If it asks you to go another step, maybe find f of some other number, I can just plug that in and get my answer. So we are finished.